So, today's topic or the practice is the seventh of the eighth practice of the first verse. And we can define that step as a learn and reflect knowledge of the self for awakening and realization. So you see that the first step was study, contemplation, and reflection on the principles so that we can have a doubt free mind. When you have a doubt free mind, you are always free. When you have a doubt free mind, you don't have that anxiety, reaction. You are free. Second was learning how I act in my daily life, from where the action comes. It comes from the desire. And if you have a binding desire, it is because of ignorance, and the ignorance is bound to cause suffering. Will you recognize me if I pay you $1 million donation and now you don't recognize me? Even if you recognize me, I don't like it. So you see that outside it is a very good karma. It is a very noble, good action, but it is a binding desire. One example. The third, we were talking about dedicate all karma to the existence. How? Find out what is triggering you in the mind, performing a particular action. So, what you see, you make that action free from, do you remember free from the fruits and free from the fruits and ego. How to release that ego? Just perform an action as a play and a fun. Perform your role very well. Focus on the action part. Why you didn't do it? Ego. Let me present and express. This is the way I should focus and do it. I set an example. Like this, the knowledge-oriented mind replaces sins and you start living a virtuous life. So we discussed about what exactly is the sin. Do you remember? Unconscious, habitual action. I perform a habitual action, outside it appears the most noble action. Say I donated you, and every third day I call you. Do you know I donated you? Do you know? That is a sin. Even the virtue becomes a sin. And then we work for, now coming to the seventh. That the most important thing. What we did, what we understood, the sixth part, we found the inherent defect in the pleasure. The entire life, the human life, is seeking pleasure. Every action is moving towards the pleasure. In the morning, let me have a cup of coffee. I forgot to buy a coffee yesterday, so coffee is not there. What happened to the pleasure? Simple thing. I can tell you, simple thing. I move with care, love, and affection towards you, but your mind is busy somewhere else, so you don't pay any attention, so I get hurt. Inherent defect in the pleasure. When I'm aware of it, I'm a free guy. So now coming to the seventh one. Seventh one is why we should learn and reflect knowledge of the self for awakening and realization. Why? So I will deal with, once we cover all the 8 steps, I will go back and I will tweak how to implement these 8 steps in daily life. You need not to change anything outside. Change inside. When you smile, is it a real smile, or the mind is divided? No, I'm in a session, so I have to smile, so therefore I'm smiling, but there is no feeling inside. The mind is disintegrating us all the time. My master used to say, a little changes everything. And that little we miss because of ignorance. That little makes us habitual. That little makes us mechanical. So our response, our thought, our speech and action is also habitual and mechanical. We have said so, then I'm sorry. But it doesn't change my internal state of the mind. So my master used to cite an example, Sangeeta knows, a little poison. You need only a little poison. You don't need too much. So that action which is guided by the ignorance is a little poison. I may rationalize. It will not work. It disturbs me, it disturbs others. A little salt, little more salt in the food. You know, a lot of vegetables you cook fit for 10 people. And how much salt you put? A little more destroys the entire. It happens because of our habitual and mechanical life. There comes this step. Do I remember? Do I recall? Am I reflecting on this? When you reflect on these principles, you will see the mind becomes totally free. You enjoy every moment in your life. So, entire journey, one master says, Manaiva Manushyanam Karanam Bandhamokshayu. Mind is the cause of the problem. So, where is the problem? In the mind. Where we have to find a solution? In the mind. This is one of the major steps to find out the solution in the mind. It has 2 steps. I have been talking a lot. Shravan, learning and listening. That is not enough. That is not enough. I have to reflect on it. I have to reflect on it. For example, there are only 2 things in the world, Master says, teaches us. What is that? Self and the non-self, matter and the consciousness. Check it. Check it just now. Become aware of all the objects outside. They are nothing but matter or the extension of a matter given a different label. Remote, smartphone, monitor, computer, my house, your house, my car. Are you aware that it is only an extension of matter? It is matter, nothing less than that, nothing more than that. Can I keep that knowledge in the mind? It is an extension of matter. It is constantly changing. So one change, my car breaks down. Should I get upset? It is a change. Let me take care of it. Are you understanding that part? My honey said me something, I get upset. No, why you should get upset? Why? Employee said something, why should I get upset? Ask yourself, hammer your mind. Crazy mind, stop this nonsense. So the second part is the self. We talk of the real self, we talk of the individual self, we talk of the false self, we talk of the transcendental self. There are many. They are all extensions of the real self. reflection. You are reflecting on it. So when you are reflecting, any person praising me, appreciating me, insulting me, saying good or bad, all comes from the mind. He is not the mind. She is not the mind. I have to allow the mind to settle into this wisdom and then see what happens. Then you are the most happy person in the world. There's someone says crazy, I'm more crazy than you think. Come on. I have a pet statement. So, what happens when you contemplate and reflect? What happens? I gave you one example. We can take it as a positive for positive statements or positive actions that you perform, and it will also help you to know how to minimize the impact of the world outside into your mind. Long back, I think in 85, 86, I started working on that what exactly is the relaxation practice and how to give that practice. Which master has spoken about it? And I designed 17 steps of relaxation. Now, still, I contemplated and reflected. 17 steps were reduced to 10 steps. It is because of my reflection. 10 steps were reduced to 8 steps, 8 steps to 6, and 6 to 4, which I say now 4-step relaxation or a relaxation mindfulness practice. What happened? Why was the 17 steps are clear? No, when the mind through the reflection and contemplations becomes more and more clear, it becomes more and more clarity comes to your intellect. We covered in a beautiful way the last Saturday. Those who are attending both the sessions will definitely will derive maximum benefit. We talked about the Manisha. I think you all know. I gave a different perspective of the right intellect that awakens you to the wisdom. So through the contemplation and reflection regularly, it gives you that state. Then the mind does not need to think. When you reflect upon, reflect and reflect and reflect, then you don't think, for example, Lara told me something and I get upset. I need not to think too much about being upset. Oh, whatever she's sad because of her condition of the mind, her state of the mind. She will never say, I know it, but I'm just stating an example. You see that? You see that? Now you see that your mind does not accept that disturbs you. You see that? You created a wall. You created a very strong wall. No acceptance. So the master in the 7th step is pointing out that you filter out what is not required in our life. What is not required? Example, you say me I am crazy. Are you certifying me that I am crazy? Are you empowered to certify me that I am crazy? No. Why should I feel crazy? But if you say crazy and I'm reacting, I have certified myself that I'm crazy. Are you understanding? Did you get it? Are you getting it? You said that I'm mad and I start acting like a mad. So I have certified myself. It is a self certification. right? Take it in a lighter note, but a very powerful. Very powerful. That's what I'm going to say. One master who is still alive, he lives in South India. Look at his expression about this step. So he stands amongst thousands of the people and he addresses everyone. Come on, you all have come here to listen to me. It should go into your head. And yes, say yes. Nobody is sleeping. Yes, nobody is sleeping. Then he says that you all should say this master is crazy in one voice. And he keeps his hands like this. And the moment everyone says crazy, did you understand? He said, you told me crazy. I held it in my both the hands and then I threw it. How the world can attack me? Are you understanding? How the world can make me upset? And if the world can make me upset, then tell me where from the world has entered into your body and the mind. I'm telling you the importance of contemplation and reflection. Did you understand the first part? Now, what is an explanation? I accept, my mind accepts the interpretation of the word and the statement based on my memory. Since birth, in English language, if we were taught, crazy means excellent, wonderful. And if I say, are you crazy? You'll have a smile. Oh, thank you very much. Are you understanding that part? Very subtle part. Very subtle part. Are you understanding? Are you getting it? Huh? Word. Since birth, in English language, if you are taught, the crazy means excellent, very good human being. And if I say, are you crazy? You'll have a bigger smile. Thank you very much. You are so nice to me. What he's pointing, what is this step? It says, I must contemplate and reflect on the principles of this Eastern wisdom. Why? I filter out my mind. That causes reaction, that causes anxiety, that causes suffering. Are you getting it? Are you understanding? The first part, someone says. So mentally you can do it. If someone says something, why should I disturb my mind? But how to achieve that state, I need to contemplate and reflect on the principles of Eastern wisdom. I gave you one example, the self and the non-self. Another example that you have heard, Shreyas and Preyas. A lot of principles. What is Shreyas? What is right and good is a common element to every human being. Whether we are a noble man or a criminal, as a human being, we all possess Shreyas deeper inside, what is right and good. Like the sweetness of a sugar can never become salty. It is the outer personality dictated by my mind in ignorance causes the reaction in the suffering. This is the real yoga. This is the real process of meditation. This is the real process that leads you to awakening. You see the power of contemplation and reflection on these principles. Look at your honey. Mentally, mine says she did this thing and that way I was upset. And then she did this thing and so I was very happy. Hold on. Hold on your mind. Mind, what are you thinking? What is right and good? What is the common element between both of us? We all are both are human beings. We both have our true nature. So what she or he says and expresses outside is coming from the mind due to the limitedness is experienced in the mind. I want to get a pleasure by becoming angry. That is one of the biggest problem of relationship. The mind finds no other way. Mind is blocked. When you contemplate and reflect, that blockages are removed. Are you getting it? So once, and always remember that master. Anyone says, I'm crazy, the word that you keep it, you held it in your hand and throw it out. It should not touch you. It touches you because of your interpretation. Your interpretation belongs to the memory. I have to refresh my memory. Sometimes computer hangs, it eats a lot of memories. So you have to refresh it. So when you refresh the memory, you remember what is right and good. Completes the 7th step of this sadhana, Panchakam. It's a beautiful text. I would say 99% of these great enlightened masters followed this sadhana Panchakam. Panchakam means verses, 5 over 5. 5 verses. And every verse has 8 steps. In the next session, we will understand how to tweak we'll cover the 8th step. And after that, for a couple of sessions, we'll understand how to tweak that, how to introduce that, how to embed that, how to empower your mind with these 8 steps. And if you start following 8 steps in your daily life, your personal life, your professional life, your social life, at least becomes peaceful. When it becomes peaceful, the wandering mind is not wandering. When the mind is not wandering, you have already set a strong foundation for meditation and awakening. Am I making myself clear? So 7th step, where the master emphasizes, oh, there is a true nature, it is pure consciousness, and the mind says, I know it. What is new you are telling me? So are you going to the master to tell you something new? But why? Why? You get everything new every day and you forget everything. That is not becoming a seeker. I have to put that principle into the head. When you contemplate and reflect, it descends down into your heart. Now they are your principle of life. When they become your principle of life, your mind inspires you to follow that path. Then you will never complain. I'm not able to control my anger and anxiety. You will never complain about this. But we have to work on our mind after all. If we don't work on the mind, no, my habit has become anger. What should I do? Do nothing. Jump into a river. You have to do. We have to apply that in our life. So that is our seventh step. Pick up only one principle. I can give you self and the non-self. I just explained Shreyas and the Preyas. I am responsible for my peace and happiness. So you told me that I am crazy and that made me upset. But principle is I'm responsible for my peace and happiness. How should I ward my mind not to be influenced by a constantly changing world while living in the same world? You need not to do anything outside. You need not to say anything outside. You should say sorry to me. Why should anyone say sorry to you? Are you understanding that part? That is the power of contemplation and reflection in our life. That is our seventh step. But once, if we start following the first six steps, this seventh step becomes very easy. Very easy. Am I a seeker on the path? Yes, I am a seeker on the path. Is there any difference between a person doing a meditation and a seeker doing the meditation? There's a big difference. Seeker always succeeds, and person seldom succeeds in meditation. The person blames and complains the teacher. And if the teacher is very well recognized in a group, then he hides or she hides their feeling. You are simply a person. You have yet to become a seeker. It does not mean that you should not ask questions. And when the teacher is not ready to answer your questions and removes your doubt, leave that teacher. Find another. Don't stick to it. Don't apply the principle of attachment that will cause you suffering. Don't become a follower. Become a seeker on the path. Do you remember? Become follower. That's a job of politicians, making followers. The job of a teacher is to make you a seeker. The last point is again the most important, and then we'll start our meditation. I used to whisper in my master's ears, I'm your student. I'm your student. So in early days, almost 35 to 36 years. Remember this word and examine deeper inside. You will never be frustrated with any teacher. What my master said after few months, because I was constantly, every day I was repeating, Master, I am your disciple. It has become mechanical. Long back, 35 years ago. So I should tell you what are the faults and the negativity I had in those days. What my master told me. He said, sit there. Sit at a distance. You come every day and whisper in my ear. Don't I recognize it? Am I deaf? I don't listen to you? Why the hell you, every time you say, I'm your student? And then he smiled and he laughed at me and he said, remember, I don't make students. I make masters. I make masters of your mind. Understand that. I still remember every moment of my living with my master. It fills, tears in my eyes, tears of joy. The way that he guarded, he helped me evolve. Do you see the importance? He said, I make masters, I don't make students. You're not my master. I'm not your master. That is the journey of awakening and realization. So let us start our journey of meditation. Eyes are closed. Eyes are closed and mind looking deep inside your head or the heart. Where it is looking, what it is looking deep inside yourself. So, what it is looking the space or the darkness or the blankness. Why? You are clear about it. That meditation or Eastern wisdom is an instrument of knowledge that aims at self discovery. The mind moving outside is also an instrument of knowledge to discover the material world and its phenomena, its activities. Very clear. When the intellect is clear, the mind will continue to face and look at the space or blankness or emptiness inside. And what is going to happen? It has a deeper impact on the body. The body tends to move into the state of steadiness. I'm tweaking a little bit to make it clear, to settle for you to settle into that state. When your mind says, I'm fully busy, do you ever think what happens to the body? That being fully busy with the feeling and the sensation enters into your body, into every cell of the body. Even if you are sitting, internally the mind says you are on your toes. See that. Clarity of understanding is required. In the stage one, the first step is steadiness in the body is gained naturally. And mind is looking inside, facing inside. We settle further by being comfortable. It is very difficult to give a very detailed explanation of every step. So every time I tweak on a particular step, being comfortable, moving the mind on the neck joint. What is the tweak? Don't move the body to the mind. Move the mind to the body. It awakens your intellect. And the mind that was crazy, wandering, it says, no, this is it. Move the mind on the neck joint and experience sensation, being comfortable and steadiness. Mind, shoulder joints. When I say move the mind, shoulder joints, what it means? You are aware of it, you feel it. So when you are aware and feel it, what happens? The experience is sensation, being comfortable and steadiness. Hip joint. Why I said hip joint? The mind should be there. Sensation, being comfortable and steadiness. The entire body. Sensation, being comfortable and steadiness. Third step of the stage one. Being carefree, free from all the cares of the mind. Who cares? Mind. Do you think that somebody else outside cares you? Answer is big no. Your mind cares you, but your mind cares you in ignorance, through the habit. The mind is working on you. So we say, hey mind, being carefree, let the thought come, let it go, let it stay. I am different from the thought. So So, how do I make you understand? You are standing across a road watching the traffic. You are standing behind all these thoughts and watching the mental traffic. We are sowing a seed of wisdom in the mind to succeed in meditation and mindfulness. Fourth step of the stage one, being casual, being natural. What is the meaning of being natural? Existence is natural. Tsunami, coronavirus, pleasure. Does anything happen to the existence? No. Million people die and million people takes birth. Does anything happens to the existence? So in this step, we just become aware. We live into the state of doing nothing. Exactly in the state of doing nothing, you have a glimpse of that existence. Now, in that state, we go to the second stage where we continue doing these two steps to purify the mind and move the mind within for a natural focus. The first step of the second stage is looking deep inside the chest in the space and start breathing. Quick, short breath with the cheerfulness of the mind. You're not doing Bhastrika, you're not doing Kapalbhati, no label, just cheerfulness in the mind and uniform expansion and contraction of the rib cage through both the breath, which is quick, both the nostrils with the short and the quick format. And stop this. Reverse. Take a deep, silent, slow inhalation first into the belly. It becomes like a balloon, then into the ribs. While breathing out with the lips together, start humming sound as long, as deep, as louder. Exhalation, louder. Inhalation, totally silent. The next breath, next inhalation and exhalation is deeper, longer than the previous one. That is the target. Second point of awareness is the inhalation takes also a longer time, so you should not be in a hurry. If you are in a hurry, it will point your busyness of the mind. Remember this. And when you are doing louder humming, it is going to influence your brain. That we will talk later. Long, deep. Continue. And stop this humming sound. We have new experiences. How we can settle that experiences will move to the stage 3. We raise our awareness, move the mind on the head and the neck, be there, and experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. So, what is the stage 3 is pointing you? That I did the practice. Now I'm moving to my experiences. One of them is relaxation. Relaxation is a byproduct of meditation. It is not meditation. But yes, it is an important step in experience. Move the mind on the right arm. So we settle the mind. Be there, feel sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Move the mind on the left arm. Feel the sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Move the mind on the rib cage in the belly. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. We'll go deeper into this step in the following session. That's you see that every time I personalize, customize the practice for a group based on your experiences that you share. I tweak one or more steps. The mind goes to the right leg and be there. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. The mind goes to the left leg. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Move the mind on the entire body, from the crown to the toes, and experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. In that state, in the stage 3, we can do a nyasa that will help us to go deeper. Once we consciously experience that state, a little deeper breath. Breath is your car. Mind is your driver. And what you do with the driver and the mind, where you move. The moment you start inhaling, means driving your car with the mind on it, move the mind inside the right arm. Inside the right arm, either from the shoulder to the fingertips or from the fingertips to the shoulder. Where you are moving in the space or darkness, inside the right arm, the breath more or less is uniform. What it means, the mind is driving the breath. I'm holding it back, but just give you a tweak of this word nyasa. Nyasa, sannyasa. Sannyasa, the person who has renounced everything literally, is a monk or a sannyasa. Sannyasi, from where the word has come, nyasa. You are merging prana and the mind together. For what? For nyasa. What is nyasa? To place, to awaken beyond mind. Move the mind inside the left arm in the same way. Left arm, common element, space. So when the breath goes in the mind, moves inside the left arm, in the space. The space is the highway. What we are doing, we are breaking the identification of the mind from the body. That is the craziest level of ignorance that causes the suffering. That is why you all are, who have been attending regularly, finding that this journey is helping you a great deal. I'm aware of that, my friends. Now, inside the right leg, you're doing the same thing. The breath is little deeper. The mind moves during inhalation and exhalation on the space inside the right leg. I strictly adhere to the principles of Eastern wisdom. That has led me to evolve in a natural way, not changing anything outside unless I changed inside. Now inside the left leg, Now inside the spine from the crown of the head to the tailbone, and from the tailbone to the crown of the head. During inhalation and exhalation or inhalation, whatever the way you want to do. Our goal is that we are aware of the highway and the mind is driving the breath inside the spine. Simple. And stop this step also. We will transition to the stage 4. I named it as exploring. Let us explore in a very casual and natural manner. Breath is normal. Move the mind on the crown of the head. Move it little down. Mentally say Om and stay there. Om is symbolic of pure consciousness. That is all pervading, infinite, one common element present in all of us. I was thinking, use the word stalking in a right manner. You are stalking Om by saying Om, pure consciousness. Mind drops gently, walking gently, reaches to the heart and says Shanti. Om, bigger space, Shanti. Do you remember? I explained you what is Shanti, Sukha. You see these Sanskrit language. Kha. Kha means infinite space. Su means good. So when you have a good space in the mind, that is the meaning of the peace. Nothing else. See the beauty of our great masters, the way they have explained, clarified the subject. So again, move the mind on the top of the head, crown of the head, drop it. Why you use the word drop? Like a drop of a rain, water. It drops naturally. And then it drops into the heart while dropping Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Now, leave that also. Return to the last step, which is also a common step. Mindfulness state. In the state of doing nothing, you are knowing the breath is going in and out. You feel the sensation of the breath. You're not doing anything. And third is no change in the rate and the rhythm of the breath. Three-pointed awareness of the breath. It is exactly the state of doing nothing. We always talk philosophically how mindfulness is effortlessness, natural. See that? You're doing nothing. It doesn't mean you lose awareness. You're doing nothing does not mean that you are sleeping. Doing nothing means whatever is happening to the mind, thoughts are coming, no worry. Body as it is, in that state, casually, you are aware of the breath going in and out, you're feeling the sensation of the breath, and there is no change, my friend. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your closed eyes, and open the eyes inside. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. You see, Lara, you share your experiences, previously, and now you see that the body doesn't want to disturb. The mind, when it becomes habituated with the body, what I say, the unconscious mind enters into every cell of the body, that agitates the body, and the same mind complains. Mind does everything and the mind complains. But that comes slowly, slowly, step by step. How are you, Lara?
Today was actually really good. And I did have a little bit of sensation in my body, and I was like, I'm just going to let it be there and not focus on it. And today felt, the best way for me to describe it was almost like a tabula rasa, or that clean slate thing. There wasn't a lot of color today. There was like a little white dot that kept kind of peeping in and out. But other than that, it was really quiet, which was nice.
Beautiful.
Today.
That's what,
Yeah.
that's why I asked you to share your experiences first. How are you? Terry has to unmute. It will take time, so let us take David and Jerry. So, Kate, hello, we are sharing the experiences to progress, to evolve. I don't need any kind of appreciation or praise. I know what I know. And I don't know. I know what I don't know. So there is no issue about it. How are you, David and Jerry?
Um, no, I'm very good. It was very, yeah, very just blissful. It was like surfing on clouds, is the only way I could describe it. Lots of just nothing. Um, and there was no, not even, I wasn't even noticing any thoughts. It was so clear and just, I don't know, nothing.
It was definitely a deeper experience. One master used to say that whenever you have any form of anxiety or duality, allow the mind to go into the sky and merge into that infinite space. But if it happens naturally, the mind rises. That's a wonderful. We are evolving and progressing. How are you, Jerry?
Hi, doing well. My mind had fun driving through the body today. Um,
Wonderful.
kind of an interesting. I just noticed that it was playful going through the body today in a different way. And then I had a lot of pulsing of colors, and which I try to just let them come and go, because sometimes when I get this vibration or this pulsing of color, sometimes I find that my mind wants to stay with that, and kind of it seems like it, and so I just try to just let that come and go. So it's just interesting. I had a lot of that today, a lot of pulsing of colors, and very nice. Still
That's a
feeling, still feeling.
beautiful. When you start enjoying as if you are playing, moving the mind inside in the infinite space, that helps the mind to go deeper because you break the identification with the body. And that is the greatest challenge in meditation. Wonderful. How are you, my friend Terry?
I was able to do the whole thing, and my breathing got a little deeper today,
Good.
more easily. And I see colors too, but I wasn't real. I just let them. I don't really
Yeah,
react to them. And I was,
recognize and accept and let them come and go. Wonderful, Terry. You know what is another way to express the awakening? You break the identification with the body. What it means? It does not mean that you leave the body. I don't agree when people talk to me about out of the body experience. Really? Out of the body? What it means? We should go little. So, well, it's okay. I accept people talk to me. You see that I know I have a car. The moment I park the car in the garage, finished. Do you remember? No. No. No identification. You want to use the car, you go to the garage, drive it, and start driving. Do I have that kind of a freedom of the mind in relationship to the body? Now I'm a teacher, label teacher during this session. So let me use it. Use the body. Role of teacher is gone, done. Driving is done, car is parked. The moment, Terry, you will reach to this. I'm not going to make a big statement. You will see what happens to your prana. How are you, Stephen?
I'm good, thank you. Just a continuation of what the last few days have been, just very, very peaceful.
Very
Uh,
peaceful.
Yes, it's my mind is quiet. Things just come and go.
Come and go.
I'm very relaxed. The meditation today was just it was just pure peace. So no
Wonderful.
colors. Right? It just happened. So it was great. Thank you.
It's the progress. It's a sign of the progress. Definitely very well. How are you, my friend Kate? You have to unmute. In a personal session, we say keep quiet.
Oh, there we go.
In a virtual session, we say mute or unmute.
This is my first time in this format. It was lovely to share space and to remember.
Wonderful. Yes, when we will continue the journey, you have entered into the 7th step today that I covered. So in the following session, I'll summarize. So once you have a clarity of these principles, you will definitely evolve because these are the teachings of the masters, not mine. So how are you, Sangeeta?
सर बहुत पीसफुल है और कभी कभी रिलैक्सेशन के बाद थोड़ा हीट बॉडी में से लगता है कि गर्म हो रहा है
Yeah,
और
body becomes hot.
और ओम शांति तो बहुत ही रिलैक्स करता है
Very good.
बहुत बार
So she went deeper through the Om Shanti. I'm not able to prevent myself to give you another incident which happened with the master, and then we'll bring an end to this session. So for 10 years, first 10 years, I was with the master, and I was always pushing my son, do something, do something. Why don't you do something? I don't like any father. Once you become a father, you follow the same footsteps of your father by default. So we all used to go to the master, we all used to live. And my master noticed, here in our country, in US, it's a privacy issue. If you come to me, why should I talk about your relations? Oh, it's a big privacy issue. There is no privacy issue. Everyone knows everything. But in India, it is not like this. The master used to enter into your family life. Why? They want that your family life should be in a harmony so that you can progress. That is the reason. Otherwise, there is nothing to. So anyhow, so one day I was pushing in front of my master, and he used to tell me Yogi Raj. He labeled me as a Yogi Raj. And he shouted so loudly at me. And I knew that he is playing his role because those 10 years I know him very well. He shouted, called me. He said, "This is the last day you will say anything to your son. He is my son. I will take care of him." Now, why I was pushing, he was the weakest in mathematics. Now, he is the smartest in mathematics. I did not say anything. Find out why and how it happened.